This is the second in our series of stories of Old Lubeck. And today we have two very special guests, two of Crowtown's finest. I'm sure they need no introduction. Muriel Doran and Eileen Leavitt. I'd like for us all to give them a round of applause. So happy that they graciously consented to be here today, because I'm certain that they will have a lot of wonderful stories to tell us.
Elaine and I grew up side by side. Right after we went off to school together, and now we live right across from each other at the elderly housing. So we didn't get away from each other. But she won't do much talking. She already told me that. But anyway, when we were really not that old, we still had dirt roads in South Quebec for quite a long time, because the town only tied, they put the power and the water down just so far every year. So I was probably, we were 9, 10 years old before we got the water and the electricity down where we lived, 2 miles down from the corner. So it was quite different after that. And we, of course, we had a 2-room house down there where Ray Morrison's house is now, if you know what that is, down just before Crest Bridge. And we had wood stoves, but our water came from Crest Brook. They had a tile they had put in there, and the boys from upstairs went every morning, and we had everybody had one big long-handled dipper. Everybody drank out of them. But nobody got sick, so it was okay. But we did. And one year, I can't remember, I think it was in the early 30s. I know my mother had pictures, I don't have them, I wish I did, where the snow was right up under the power lines, going all the way down from Southwest Corner down to the lighthouse. And they had all the older people, my grandfather was one of them, and Elaine's father was one of them, to hand shovel, all that way from the corner to Cordy Head to the lighthouse. Not once, but several times, because no plow back then could even go through that. But we still had school. But we did have 2 schoolhouses in South Quebec. One was almost up to the Quebec corner. It was a small white one that they called the Hornet's Nest. I don't know why they called it the Hornet's Nest, but they did. It was probably about halfway from the medical center to South Quebec corner on that same side. I never found out why that was the Hornet's Nest, but it always was. It was just a small white school. Yeah.
Do you think that's the roots of the Lubeck Hornets? That old schoolhouse? Now the sports teams are the Lubeck Hornets.
Yeah.
I wonder.
But that was not an in-town school, it was South Quebec school. Well, kids that we knew it was, but never knew why. Then, because the weather isn't like it used to be back when we were probably in high school, maybe, by then. But when we had the real foghorn, the old grown-up, we had 40 days that thing never shut off. And you could hear that thing when it went off. You could hear it in town. That thing now is not a foghorn. I miss that. I really do. And of course, when 911 came in, they changed a lot of the names down there. What used to be Murdoch Lane for all the time, because Murdoch lived there. My husband was born in the Murdoch house down there. Now it's the Bar Road. I don't know why. I don't remember the house. Can you?
No.
But I remember the big barn that was down there. On the right, going down there. But then we had a big skating pond down there. So that's not there anymore. No. And the sandbar, which is a sandbar now, never was a sandbar. It was always just the bar. But since that bridge went in, that is extended at least over a quarter mile down beyond where it ended before. You stand right at Crest Bridge. You can walk right across from the ridge at the end of that bar. Not now. It's really built in there. They changed that current considerably. Yeah. And then we also had 9 o'clock curfew. We had 2 grocery stores too. One was right on the corner of the Bar Road. Small one, and another small one down closer to where we live. If we wanted to go to town, to the movies, or to the dances, we walked up and we walked home. you know, a whole bunch of us together, because back then, South Lubeck had a lot of kids everywhere. Not like now. Now there are none down there. And when the Coast Guard station, of course, used to be in Carrying Place Cove, when they moved to the other building, every one of them but one were Lubeck Coast Guardsmen. And the other one was Madison. It wasn't far away either. But there were 4 from South Lubeck. My father was one. And they all manned the Coast Guard station down there. And the lighthouse also was Lubeck people back in those days. So they didn't go far once they joined the Coast Guard back then. Not like my husband, we were on the Great Lakes for a while. Lane, it's up to you. You were going to talk about that,
Oh,
Dr. Smith, a doctor, lived right across from us.
he was a chiropractor. He would just come down.
Smith.
We were in South Lubeck did too. Years before that, he taught in South Lubeck. He taught my mother in grammar school. And then after he was in the Navy in World War I, and then he went to school in that was our doctor in South Lubeck. Nobody, well, they didn't have the money to go to the doctors in town, but in those days anyway. No.
People never went to doctors much then.
No, but if we did anything, if we had something wrong, it was Dr. Smith who took care of us.
They had all different remedies for treating your families, you know.
Can you think of some of the remedies?
Well, to get-
I wouldn't know.
We might, at this point, we might all like to hear some of them, because I'm not sure that the medicine today
Yes,
is
if
doing.
you stepped on a nail or something, it was what a poultice they put on your foot. I do remember that.
Salt pork.
Salt pork.
Many of them.
And your bandage to put it on the one. I know because I stepped on a rusty nail one time. Well, we were not barefoot in summertime anyway, so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My grandmother said ginger tea was very popular too back then, and homemade ginger tea.
Yep, we had that too. Yes.
We
did.
You got a guy full of cod liver oil.
Now, Michael, I didn't do that to you. You're telling tales on your mother.
She kept you healthy.
Yes,
Yes, she did.
yes.
How many students were in the school?
Hmm?
How many students were in the school?
Oh, we had a lot of them down there, going both downstairs and upstairs was full. Because we had a heck of a lot of kids in Silverback, down in our area there.
Were they in separate grades?
Well, we had 4 grades downstairs and 5 upstairs. We had two separate teachers, yes. We went all through until we went to high school, as freshmen, yes. Well, that was not just us, all of West Lubeck and North Lubeck and Dixie all had their own schools. But we didn't go in. I think when we went in as freshmen, there were 54 of us in that freshman class. There were 22 of us that graduated 4 years later.
And you had one teacher?
No, we had 2 teachers, one downstairs and one upstairs.
I know, but it still sounds like.
No, we
you
had one
big
teacher for
class.
the first 4 grades and one
Yeah.
teacher up for the 5 grades upstairs. It was just two big rooms.
How many kids with one teacher?
Well, she had them all of us. She had the whole,
Yeah.
well, there must have been 25 at least downstairs and upstairs. Because we had a lot of kids down there then. Yes.
So Muriel, did you explain why it's called Crowtown?
Yeah, because of the man named Crow who settled it he settled in North Lubeck first, but they got too many people in North Lubeck, so he came down to South Lubeck.
Okay, I'm sorry.
But I don't know where he settled in South Lubeck, but that's why it's Crow with an E on it.
Oh, all right.
Yeah.
That's good to know.
That's why.
I just assumed it had something to do with crows.
No, there's an E on it. It was named after him, but I never heard where he did settle in South Lubeck, but I know he was in North Lubeck first. But he got too settled for him. So.
You can tell them they had a church and so forth.
Oh yeah, we had the church, but that got burned and all that when everything was burning
I know.
down.
That was, is that where the misnamed gallery, but it has a parking lot, and I heard the church was in there.
Yes, that's where the church used to be, right there. Yes, it was.
And
It
do you
was
remember?
affiliated with the Temple Church.
Do you remember when Marston's store was there? Was there a Marston's?
No,
Did they have a
South Quebec.
store on South
No,
Quebec Road? Okay.
No, Cal Wilton had the little
Please.
store that went
Jean
down
Please
right
had
by
that.
the
Please, and
bar road.
Pearl,
And then we had another little store down closer to us.
Cod.
Had a factory store there in later years.
That was much later years, yes.
There was two later.
Oh, yeah. Well,
Jean
Jean
Cleese
Cleese
had
had
a
one up
store.
above,
Yeah.
further up the road, but this was down where we were. Down in the middle, we were halfway down from Elizabeth Corner to the lighthouse. A little over 2 miles down.
What's your place?
And she lived next to me.
Any other businesses besides a store?
No, not until, well, there were the fishermen, lobstermen.
Yeah, but no little business
No,
of any kind?
no, there were no other ones.
Earl Ashby wasn't down there then?
Hmm?
Was Earl Ashby there then?
No.
He had a little. he had a
Earl
little-
was,
Yes.
He had,
long
he had a, he had a
after
little, shop.
oh, well, yeah, but that, I wasn't here when Earl had that.
Yeah.
He
He used to
used-
buy wood off.
He used to tend the Channel 8,
Right, yeah.
Earl Ashton.
Well, yeah, that was manned for a long time. My father-in-law, he was one of the keepers out there. But that was always manned for a long time.
Out on the sandbar, you were saying everybody had their own smoke shack?
Oh, yes, but I don't remember them, but my grandfather always told me that way back, everybody had a skinning shed down there on the bar. That they used to get the herring from, from the fishermen and do their own smoking the herring. Yes. That was before me. But my grandfather, no, it was mostly lobster fishermen down that part of the town, south of back, yes. Because my grandfather used to tell me that, well, they were a lot younger then. He and my great uncle, his brother-in-law, used to row out lobster fishing. And I don't think they would get too many at one day, but when they had enough, they would row to Eastport and sell their lobsters for 25 cents a pound and row back to the cove. That was before they had the engine in the lobster boat. My grandfather was not a very big man. I don't think he was over 5 feet tall.
Well, they probably timed it with the tides, right?
Oh, yes, yeah, oh, yeah. Back then they had to, but, so I don't know how many were lobstering then, but later on, of course, they were lobster fished in the boats with the motors. Yes, then they didn't have to go to Newport. Well, that was what there was down there, lobster fishing.
Muriel, Daddy used to talk about Pope's Market Garden.
Oh, yeah, but that was way later. That was when we were,
Second World War.
oh, yeah, I worked till, no, that was before high school. I think about 12, yeah, I weeded for sure.
The bowling
And
alley.
he raided some
The
of the
bowling pins.
vacant lots in South Quebec, and he raised
Quebec?
lettuce and cauliflower down there. He had a big farm.
Oh, I don't remember.
West of my work farm or something. Oh, yeah, I weeded for sure. Then when we were 14 in high school, that was in early 40s, we, at 14 you could get a work permit from the superintendent schools, and we went into the sardine factory, packing fish. At the old Seaboard factory first, and then after that burned, we went down to Peacock. But back then, they were raw fish, and you stayed, when that boat came in, you stayed and packed until they were gone. It was not, some nights it was midnight before we got out of there. But, they needed, the government was buying every can of sardines they could get. So,
What if there were fish, what if the whistle went off when school was in? Would you go?
well, not during school.
Not during.
No, we had things in school. But weekends and after school and on Saturdays too, of course, yes. Yeah, when we were at Peacock's, that was when Quaddy Village was still going on over there, of course. And Peacock's got an excellent rating from the government. And they had everybody over at the big building there in Quaddy Village for a big celebration. And you remember going over there?
I do.
That was something to get back in those days from the government. It was.
What year did the Seaboard factory burn, right?
Yes.
What year was that?
Okay. I don't remember. I don't remember, but after, we went from there to Peacock's, where it was still running then, but we went down to Peacock's.
Yeah,
and
because we lived on
Factories down there.
Quebec.
I wasn't here in the 60s.
Well, I know Ruth wants
So I
it,
don't know.
that other siding factory,
So I left in 48.
Union, is it the Union?
I forget, where was your place? Where was your home?
No, the house is still there. It was, you know, where Dora Lane goes up.
I do.
Well, it's the first one on the left after Dora Lane.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
I was there till last September, then I moved out to the other. I'll be 90 in June, so I won't keep it stuff anyway. And I think Mike and his brothers are very happy when I moved. He didn't have to put the plastic on my outside of the house anymore.
John Newman had a hen house down there,
Yeah,
and
but,
then he went to making bowling pins.
oh, really?
Yeah. Then he moved it to Alabama.
Oh, yes. I remember when they lived down in Silverbet. Yes.
I heard it was a prime spot to harvest sweetgrass.
That's up by Pike Puddle. The Indians always come over in the fall and get sweetgrass there.
Oh, yeah, down back out.
That's right on the,
Down in back of where we lived.
you know, where the S-turns are.
Oh,
Yeah.
Sweetgrass?
But that was Pike's Puddle, it's not a puddle anymore. You damn call it. Eldon Puddle isn't there anymore.
Josie Bennett had a house there on time.
Oh, yes. Oh, yeah, we knew all the Benners.
Yeah.
Yes,
My mother lived there.
yes. Oh, yes. Yeah, we went to school with most of them.
Oh, did you?
Grammar school.
Was it-
Yes, they went down to grammar school.
Which one did we go to school?
Oh, yeah.
with? Was it Charlie Bennett?
We did.
Chicky.
Remember that?
Chicky Bennett.
Oh, I knew all of them, yes.
He must went to school to Stewart then. Stewart's in town?
We went, except in high school, we went to school in Silverback, we didn't come down to school.
but for high school you did.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes, we came to high school, in high school. Yeah.
Did you have to walk to school when you came to high school? Did you have to walk to school when you went to high school?
Oh, no,
No.
no, no, Sid Maker was our bus driver all the time. No, John Hunt had the buses back then, and then Hunt Solo. Sid was a school bus driver for quite a long time, when he worked for John Hunt.
I didn't think he was.
No, we didn't have to walk to high school. We walked to grammar school and walked home for lunch.
I don't think so.
That was not that far where we were.
Where
We
was
didn't
the
have
high
to take a
school
lunch.
in town? Where was the high school in your day?
Oh, well, the apartments are here in town.
Okay.
Great.
Muriel, what year was it that you guys started freshmen at the old high school?
1942, we graduated.
We
46.
graduated in 46.
and you moved away in 48?
I
And you moved away in 48?
I did. I got married, and my husband was in the Coast Guard on the Great Lakes. We went to Ohio to start
What
with.
year did you come back?
Well, we got transferred back to, he retired in Rockland. We had 3 boys in school in Rockland, 2 in high school, 1 in grammar school, no work in Lubec.
Oh.
So after he retired and I turned 62, we came back home. I still had my grandparents' house where I grew up, where we lived in Lubec. So I've been back since 1990. And they all grew up in Rockland, all 3 of my boys, but 2 of them ended up with Lubec girls anyway. So-
If you do that, you're gonna be here forever.
You didn't grow up, yes, you were. Yes, I had the 2 oldest ones were Dr. McBride babies, that was Ada Malone. My youngest son was born in Camden, in Rockland, and he has lived in Camden for many years.
Yeah, look at it.
But 2 of them followed us home.
We got here before you did.
Yeah, I
Yes,
think
you
we
did.
greeted you.
Yes, you did.
We moved you down.
Yeah. You did. And Bob too. But there's a lot of changes in Quebec. I mean, a lot of the houses are gone, and most of them now are just summer places. So we didn't know, and I don't think Elaine did either know very many people in Quebec anymore. It's not like it used to be. But it was, we had, every night in the wintertime, we were either, we had two skating phones, and we were either skating, everybody, or sliding, or up behind Press Hill, that great big hill out back. Everybody used to slide down there.
Yes.
Yes,
Ski.
yes, and ski down there too. Yes. Yes, when Jerome and Christine were there. Yes, we did. But as I said, when that 9 o'clock whistle blew, you started home. back then.
There was a town ordinance? The curfew
That was,
came
oh yeah,
out?
that was town curfew. The fire alarm blew at 9 o'clock.
We didn't have
Yes.
it.
It still blew in 1976.
Really? Yeah, well, we had it back then. Yes.
In 76, would you have to go home?
No.
When we were growing up, we did.
That's why he doesn't remember it.
We had no choice. Back then, when that blew, your parents expected you to be heading home.
Off the road.
Yes. If you were skating, you had to take your skates off and start home.
We always walked the beach for a reason.
The fire alarm used to blow.
Because back then, the cops, if
Whenever
you
there
were
was a
out
fire.
after curfew.
But back in high school, we didn't have, I mean, that was when you went to the movies or anything. They didn't, you know, we had to walk home.
They would pick you up and you went home. You had no say about it. You got the car and you left.
They took you home and
Yeah.
that was it.
But of course, we were walking.
Even during the day, if there was someone skipping school, they had tune officers that would come out.
Oh, yes, yes. Yes, it
I
is.
used to be one now.
I don't think any of the kids down Silverbit did much skipping school. Not with one of the teachers we had.
No.
She would not allow that.
Who was that?
Hazel Smith, you wouldn't
Oh,
remember
I
Hazel?
remember Hazel Smith, yeah.
We had her many years in Silverback downstairs,
There's a
yes.
lot of stories about Hazel Smith.
She taught up here a little bit.
Yeah,
she
but that
did.
was
Stopped sixth grade.
Mom had her.
Yep. But she taught down lower grades in Silverback
She
for a long
taught year before.
time. We managed, we got through high school just fine. And it was not too long before the kids, they just didn't like, there was people coming in.
They didn't like what?
They didn't like us, from, they figured they had known each other, all those in-town kids going all the way through grammar school together.
Oh.
We were all strangers. When all the buses came in, they weren't so nice to begin with. But we all managed to graduate with no problems. Because that was the first year, well, not the first year, but that was, because we didn't know any kids in town when we went to school. I had a grandmother and an aunt and uncle in town, but except to visit them, I wasn't around where the kids were. So it was quite different. Going from, but we had good teachers too, in grammar school.
When you guys were little, do you remember ever anybody having horses to use for transportation to get from place to place?
No, but Joe Kress had one that was very ugly, and he was always out, and he had chased us up on people's doorsteps more than once. You remember him, don't you, that one?
I do.
No, Jerome was the only one, he had that one horse, but he was not. He was very, and he always was out of the pasture, always out running around. But we were terrified of him.
The boys used to tease him, that's why he,
He was.
so good.
He would, he put you right up when you saw him coming. You didn't stay walking. He put me up on the, when Marion and Hank Dorn lived there, he put me up on their doorstep more than once.
Did people have a lot of backyard gardens or put up a lot of food?
Well, most people had gardens, but you didn't, back then you canned it because for a long time we didn't have the power down there, so. I can remember when the house was wired, I was probably 11 years old. Because the town was the water and light company and they only came down Silverback Road just so far every year. So most everybody had wells, but my grandfather had a big garden, he and his brother-in-law, down behind the house, and most people had gardens.
My mother lived in town and she used to say that during the war they used to have to cover the windows.
Oh yeah, we had blackout
Be
curtains.
dark.
Oh yes, yes, everybody did, not just in town, but that
Yeah.
was all along the coast. Oh yeah,
Yeah, we did that in Massachusetts.
yeah, that was, everybody had blackout curtains. Yes. You go out at night and it was just pitch black, you couldn't see. Not a light, you couldn't have a light shining, even a beam coming out the window.
My grandma was Lina Stewart,
Oh yes, I know. Elaine did too.
Yes.
Yeah.
Delia's daughter.
Yeah. The lady is, because we knew people in town, but going into high school, most of us didn't know
No.
any of the kids. that we would frequent class with.
Were there sports activities? Were there after school stuff, like sports things?
Well, they had baseball teams and basketball teams. None of us did because we had to walk home. The buses wouldn't take us back. Well, that's the same way when we worked for Sherwood Pro. He sent a truck in town to pick up the kids, Central Bank kids. We had to walk up there to get on the trucks to go back to Cordier, which didn't make much sense, but we did. Well, we had to weed down on the head. Yes, that was 25 cents an hour. My God. Yep. But he had a big crew. You know, he had all of the older ones, and a lot of the women worked for him later on.
Most of his gardens right down in South.
But he had a big,
Yes,
big barn up there.
Down in South Woodbury.
Yeah, cauliflower.
Other than Sherwood's, were there other farms down there?
He rented the vacant fields, and he had cauliflower and lettuce.
No dairy farms or?
No, and then later on there, he went to Jonesboro and put all those strawberries in, and that's what did him in, because he lost all that. That's when he left and went to, so back down South Maine. Well, yeah, I weeded for him.
Did you get goose tongue greens?
Oh, yeah, of course. Well, when we were young, of course, down there on the bar, they still get goose tongues down there. But we used to go down with the, the big grocery bags and pick those goose tongues and fill that and walk to town and sell them for a quarter.
Wow.
A lot of times.
Fiddleheads back then too, didn't they? The fiddleheads they sold back then too?
I've never seen a fiddlehead down this way anywhere.
Oh, I'm loaded with them down back in my house.
Really? I love fiddleheads, but until we moved to Rockland and we're growing up in Appleton and those other places to get fiddleheads, I never
Really,
saw
there's a
them.
path that goes down behind the house down towards the beach, 'cause at one time, when my grandmother, where I live now, that was all pipe bomb.
Yeah.
And I don't know if they put them in years and years
Really?
ago, but if you go down through the woods, and when they started putting a path down through there, you can see all these fiddleheads coming up in the spring.
Oh, I love fiddleheads.
My mother did too, but I just slimy.
No, you cook them too long. They're not.
Oh, really?
Cook them right. They're not slimy. No, they're great. I love them. But we used to go. We have them in the freezer all winter. But I've never seen one grow down here anywhere. Have you?
No, they grow a lot around lakes.
Well, they're
Oh,
on
it's
the
amazing,
riverbanks
because
and
there's a bog
springtime.
down through there. You know, it's wet, real
Yeah,
wet.
but they don't grow in bogs. The real
Doesn't it
fiddleheads.
surprise me?
They grow. No, they just grow in the sandy soil along the riverbanks. And
The first time I seen them, I asked my mother what they are. She said, "You know what they are?" I said, "No." She said, "They're fiddlehead greens."
oh yeah, I like
She
them.
said, "We had to eat them a lot. We either ate them when we went hungry."
Right? No, we used to have them. Jean and my husband and I all winter. I used to freeze a lot of them. It was not fun cleaning them, but they get that brown fuzz all over them, and you got to clean that very well off. But they are really good. If you like asparagus, you like goose tongues. You would like fiddleheads.
Yeah.
I think. Yes. But goose tongues, we picked many goose tongues, and I still like them.
They're my favorite.
Oh, they're good. Yes.
I still pick them.
Oh yeah. Yeah, it's still good. Yes. But we used to pick many of them. Because I had an aunt and grandmother in town, we used to buy mine, and some of the friends that lived by were around them. But no, we used to fill those grocery bags and walk up and sell them.
But did you guys sew a lot to make it clothes?
No, I
Where'd you
never
go
could
for
sew.
shoes? No?
I'm not a sewer.
Did your parents, did your mom and
No, my
family?
mother wasn't either. No.
So where did you have to go to get your clothes?
Well, we had, we had two clothing
Oh,
stores
it
in
was
town.
Hopkins was there.
And so was Wilson's.
Yeah.
No, we had two clothing stores here in town.
My grandfather used to have a shoemaker shop downtown.
Mm-hmm.
He used to repair shoes.
Of course, we had shoe store too, we had flower shoe store.
Yeah, I remember that.
In town, but off the road.
How often did you get to town?
Well, if we went, except for school, we came in not very often. So, come into the movies in the afternoon on Saturday sometimes, but no, nobody had kept.
Was the movie hall in that same place where it burnt years ago?
Well, there used to be two different ones.
Oh, really?
After the one on Water Street, Then there was one on Pleasant Street.
Oh, wow, I never knew that.
Yeah, there was a second one on Pleasant Street. Roy Lauren still had that one, but he said he went up on Pleasant Street too. I can remember when that was still going, yeah. No, we didn't have much in Doverback, except outside, playing outside, and of course in the summertime, we were down in that creek all day long. Everybody was. Yes, we always spent our time down there.
What about when you were a teenager? Did you meet your husband in high school?
No, we grew up 3 houses apart.
So if you were going to go out together, where would you go?
Well, he was away in the service.
Oh.
No, Elaine's house was next to me, and his was just a couple over that way, so we'd always known each other. So. No, he was 5 years older than me, so he graduated before I went into high school, so. He always told everybody that when he was 10, he was 5 years, he was twice as old as me.
I think it's really remarkable that you two have remained friends.
Oh, yes.
For all these years.
Well,
when you were away, did you visit at all, or did you keep in touch?
No, we were gone so many years that and didn't get home that often. Yeah, and of course, when we came home, it was usually in November for my husband to hunt, so I didn't have much to do anything else. And then I had the kids, so the boys, so we didn't get home all that much. Especially when on the Great Lakes, he waited and came home to leave to hunt in November.
But what a gift that you have that friendship.
Oh yes,
now.
and we ended up, of course, she's been in the apartments there for quite a long time, but I moved in September, but I'm directly across from her.
It was meant to be.
I guess it was. But no, if I stand in my kitchen window, she can see me, because I call her. She can see what I'm doing. But we go out. The only day we're home usually is Saturday, me, because Mondays we go grocery shopping. Tuesdays we have meals at the building, and then Wednesday we go out to lunch. Thursday we're up there for meals and bingo. Friday we go out to lunch. Sunday after church we go out to lunch. So, not here around. As long as I can keep driving, we'll be going. But I'll be 90 in June, so I don't know how much longer I'll be driving.
I think it's going to be a while.
You don't look 92.
I will be, and she'll be 91. 6 days after me. My birthday, so.
First one wrote that she's about 100, so you got plenty of time left.
Yeah. But we do get, because I don't drive when it's snowy or icy, but other than that, we're out every day.
Did you guys have a lot of tea to drink? The family?
Oh, yeah.
Not much coffee. Just
Well,
tea.
some of Becky, they were tea drinkers. Any house she went in, the teapot was sitting on the back of the stove.
Yeah.
Always. No, I have my coffee in the morning, but the tea was the other time. But I have to have coffee.
My mother used to say it's always been big in Lavette.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, no, it was always, the old teapot was always on there, and when the grounds got up that far, the leaves, then it got dumped. I know my grandfather.
Chewing it, you threw it away.
Oh, yeah. And it used to be pretty strong before the end.
My father lived to be 93, and we used to have to put 4 tea bags in his cup because he still thought he was way back there when he was a strong tea.
It was.
My father would
Yes.
put them for a tea
It was,
bag at him.
but they never dumped it every day. They just put more leaves in, because that was long before tea bags.
Round stone things. We found up Grammy's house all kind of them where you put your tea bag,
Oh,
put
yeah.
your tea in to soak it in the pot so it wouldn't get all through the water.
Oh, yeah.
Had a
Because back
chain
then
on
it was
it,
all loose
yeah.
tea. It was not
Wow.
such a thing as a tea bag. No, everybody drank tea. But every house goes with the oil burners. The heat was on in every stove. And usually one of the granite type teapots about that tall with the D, keeping hot.
So, how many nights a week did you have fish as opposed to meat? Because you had to go to the store to buy the meat, right?
Well, my grandfather, of course, when they hauled in lobster traps, usually there was some fish in there, so we had a lot of fish. Never had lobsters. Oh, we had a lot of fish. Pelican and pelican and
Or did people raise a pig or stuff like that?
well, a lot of people did. Elaine's, and they had cow. No, we didn't. No, my grandfather was a lobster fisherman. He didn't raise any fish.
Chicken. Yeah.
I think one year my father did have a pig. But it was way back, and that's the only one I can remember. I don't think he ever had any.
So you'd go to town to buy groceries?
Well, no, we had 2 stores in Lubec. No, we had the store in Lubec.
You had enough there?
That, they had quite a lot of the stuff. Kale, the one up by the bar road, that he had a lot of. That was a pretty good sized
Good
grocery
store.
store. Yes, it was. And, no, we didn't go to town very often. I mean, most people didn't have a car. But when we were really young, there were not too many cars and stuff like that.
How do you feel about the changes from when you were growing up to what's now in Lubec?
Well, things are way, way different.
Yeah.
Because when they closed the high school, that made a great difference in everything. That was too bad. Because we went to the old one.
Oh, I did. We all did, I think.
Yes, we did.
Did you ever leave town, like to go on any trip with the family or go to Eastport to get on the train or anything like that? No?
No, we used to go on the ferry, because the ferries ran back then,
Uh-huh.
from here to Eastport all the time.
I used to go on the train
Mm-hmm.
from Machias to Brunswick.
Mm-hmm.
Well, yeah, one Christmas, we went up to visit Florence and Eddie,
Yeah.
and Christmas vacation. There was a big storm came up, so we got late coming home, so we missed one day of school. The first night again, and they gave a test that day, so we had to make up a test. Well, we went up and spent vacation that Christmas with her sister and brother-in-law in Brunswick.
So did you get on the train there where the train station is now, across from Helen's?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, always. And then usually there was the guy that picked up the mail. He would give anybody a ride back to Lubec. He went over and picked up the mail when the train came in.
Uh-huh.
Wasn't it East Machias? Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah,
That
and then it
station is
comes
not there
through
anymore.
along
No.
It has been for a
and
long
meets
time,
the
but no, it was a
station
full
in Machias.
station that was in there.
Where were children born?
Mine? 2 of them up to Ada Maloney's
And
nursing
Roy
home.
Kelly's.
Dr. McBride.
Right.
My youngest son was born in Rockland. So I have 2 Dr. McBride babies, even though I was on the Great Lakes. At the time.
A lot of them was born down to Roy Kelly's.
Oh, yes, I remember when Alice had the maternity home in South Quebec. Yeah, there was a maternity home.
I don't remember that. You don't remember Roy Kelly's being... Oh, I remember
Well, that's where
Roy
Paul and
Kelly.
Debbie
Oh,
Olson
yes.
lived,
Yeah.
is where it was.
But I don't remember.
So where were you born?
Aubrey was born there.
Where were you born?
South Quebec.
At home or?
I guess,
thought
yeah.
at home.
Yeah.
At home.
No, at Alice Brewster's.
Yeah, but she said she was born at home.
Oh,
I
you
thought
were?
at home.
Oh.
Most of us were born at home. That's right.
Most of you were born where?
At home.
Most everybody was back then.
My man.
Because we were on the lakes and I didn't know anybody around there, so I came home. I had both.
I can remember thinking of buying her.
Who helped when the babies were coming? Who helped when the babies were coming? Did you have a nurse or did the neighbors come?
We had Dr. McBride and Noni, the nurse,
They
out to the maternity home.
They come to the maternity home.
Oh, yes.
Okay.
Oh, yes.
All right.
Oh, yeah, we had Dr. McBride and Noni.
Ada put a red light in the window. Ada put a red light in the window.
She was something else again.
And what did the red light
My
mean?
children were born at home.
The red light meant a baby just been born or somebody was in labor?
For the doctor to stop.
Oh, for the doctor to stop.
Well, as Ada said, don't worry, if he doesn't get here in time, I can do it myself. And she probably would have. Yes. No, we have Dr. McBride and Noni. right there, that they were, a lot of Dr. McBride babies born over there through the years. Yes, there were.
Yes.
How long would you stay in the maternity home?
Well, the first time I was there, it was 7 days. When Mike was born. That was quite different. When my youngest son was born in Rockland, I was in the hospital 3 days. But that was 8 years later. When the youngest one was born.
When they were born at home, they wanted them to stay in bed 10 days.
The mother stayed in bed.
Yeah.
Quite a change.
Yeah.
Yeah, it certainly is.
When you all were friends, growing up together, what kinds of things did you do to have fun when you were little? You can tell us. We won't.
Well, during the days, because we were, in the summertime, we were all down on the beach. Because we had another friend that, the three of us grew up together. She lives in Florida now. The three, we were always, but everybody, all the kids were always down in the creek all summer long when the tide was coming in. You know, to swim or play on the beach, and then in the wintertime, of course, if it was really cold, we went around the houses and played cards and played games, but most of the time we were either out skating or sliding or skiing outside.
We played what we called hopscotch.
Oh yes, yes, we had hopscotch too. Yes, our driveway had a great big one.
Was there any time of year that there'd be a dance or anything?
Not down there. The only dances we had were, well, I won't say that. What is the art gallery down there now was the bottom of that never was finished. It was just an empty space. But upstairs there was a little kitchen and a great big room, and the ladies in Silver Beck used to put on suppers there quite often. My grandmother was one of them, and they put on, and then later on after that, they did have some dances down there.
Jack Doran used to come down there and dance.
Oh yeah, but
upstairs?
Yes, because downstairs it was just a big old empty, never was finished off. All those years. And then later on, when the Seventh-day Adventists, when Reverend Rice moved down, they had that church up there. That was why, because I was gone when Earl had his,
Mary,
but later on.
And it was never, it was never a school, right?
Oh, no, no.
Because a lot of people always, they'll tell me, like, they know, that was a school one.
No,
I say,
no,
no, I don't think so.
That was never ever finished off downstairs in all those years. No. But they used to have clam pie suppers and baked bean suppers and everything, because when we were kids, we got right into helping. My grandmother was one of them. But they did have a lot of things up there.
Yeah.
But other than that, that was the only place down in Pleasantback except for the church.
Right.
So what was it built to be? What was that building built to be?
I have no idea. It was there long before me.
I was told that the church built it as for a social hall. Does that make sense to you?
Well, if they did, I don't know why they would not finish off that downstairs part. That was just a wide open place with nothing in it.
No.
But the stage was in there.
There was no stage or anything. Downstairs there was just absolutely nothing. Just an open place for years and all the time we were growing up. No, it was just finished off upstairs. There was a little kitchen.
It's weird because the stage is made out of really old wood.
It's so, well, of course they moved it back a few years ago and put that foundation in. They moved it back on the foundation. They never had one before.
I know.
So
it was sitting on rocks.
No, upstairs was the only part that was ever finished off when we were going on.
How often would people go over to Eastport on the ferry?
Only when you had to. Go to the dentist or something. Not very often.
Yeah.
At least us in Silverback didn't. But I think it was about a quarter back in those days to go to Eastport. It wasn't much.
Yes, 25 cents.
It wasn't much.
My aunt worked
There
over
were really
there.
any reason to go to Eastport.
My aunt worked over there in the Quality Project offices, and she'd go over every day through the week.
Yeah.
My mother had my sister over in Florence.
We used to go over and stay all day and then come back later in the day.
There was one time, way back, this is years and years later, that they had a circus over there. Marilyn Curtis and I took one of her nephews over on the ferry. It was still running then to go to the
I
circus.
can't remember when it stopped.
I wasn't here when they stopped running.
I
It was
can
still
remember
running.
it. I was around teenage years, I think, when it stopped.
Of course, when we were growing up, it was running every day.
The last one, I think, that was coming across from here to Campobello was Eric Cook run.
Oh, really? Yeah, well, he did when,
Yeah.
he ran it when we were going to Eastport. No, we used to go over to Campobello on the scow. At one car at a time.
Yeah.
That was quite a ride. Because we weren't here when the bridge was built, so I just don't know all that.
So South Lubec is pretty close to Campobello. Was there a lot of traveling back and forth by boat to meet friends, or people coming over from Campobello to meet family and friends?
Not in South Lubec that I know of. Everybody that went back and forth went on that scow.
Okay.
Unless it was somebody had their own boat. But we didn't go to Campobello very often. My relatives were all on Graham Ann. Or a lot of them. I didn't know I had them until when I graduated from high school. I was getting all these graduation cards from people I never met. My father was born on Graham Ann, but my grandmother was from Lubec. So I had lots of relatives on Graham Ann that I never heard of, never knew.
Have you ever traveled over there to
I
look
never
people?
have been. My husband and I were always going to go. Of course, he used to go. His mother was from over there. And they came over here with the Greens when they were young. And he went over a lot of times when he was young, but we never did get to go after we moved back home.
I've been Graham Ann several times.
Do you have relatives there as well?
Well, my father was born in Canada also, on Whitehead, Graham Ann.
Oh, okay.
He came over. The family came over when he was 9 years old for work.
Well, they all came over to work in the Zadie factories. That's where my husband's family came from. Over there. Well, the green part of his mother. A lot of them did. But no, I never did get to go to Graham Ann. And I won't be going now. I'm too old to go now.
You're never too old to do anything.
Yeah, I'm too old to take that role.
It sounds like Elaine was a bit more of a traveler, going to Eastport and Graham Ann.
And Brunswick.
I haven't been 40 years either.
When did the quality, I know a lot of guys have been, when was that developed into hiking trails and so forth?
Oh, that's been...
Was it always in?
No, that was just, no trails or anything we've done there for, until the state
Just
bought it
wild
and
land.
put in the trails.
The trails were in when I was at Lake Keeper in 1978, 82. The trails were there then.
Roy, who started the trails in
My
40
father told me that they always had a trail around the shore because that was where the guys on the light station, they walked it down to Dixie and back.
Well, they did with
That one's always been.
Yeah,
Looking
because
for what?
That's how they found the ships that were.
in trouble.
they always had to take that.
From the Oklahoma lifeboat station.
During the war, they had to go around.
Well, they did, not just during the war, even when my father was down there way back, they had to take the clock and punch in every so many, all the way to Dixie and back to the head. I always had to do that. Way back before.
Where to in Dixie did they stop?
I don't know, but I know they had to go all the way around down to Dixie and back. Punching those
That was a long hike.
Yes, it was.
More than I'd want to watch.
Well,
Were they
had to do it.
punching, there were stations where they had to punch in, or what were they punching in?
They had a clock, a timer with a timer, and they had to punch in so many places, all the way down and all the way back, let them know that they were there, had done it. You would think in the winter that might have been kind of cold sometimes.
So did you all both have your weddings when you got married? Did you both have your weddings in South Lubec?
No, my husband and I were married in Dennisville because my minister from the temple, from the Congregational Church, it was in Dennisville then. And so we got married.
How about you, Elaine?
I was married in St. Stephen.
Traveling.
She's traveling. You got around.
They had a huge family.
I made a lot of trips. Especially since my husband died. Gone lots of places. Yeah, I was born 12 children.
Wow.
I was the 10th one.
Wow.
And they're all gone but me. Left me all alone.
You got me. And all your nieces and nephews.
I mean
I've got
brothers.
nieces sitting right over there.
Brothers and sisters.
I know, yeah. No, I spend a lot of time in her house too. Never mind.
Well, it sounds like you could chit chat across from window to window.
Yeah. But she's so short, I can't see her. She can see me in mine.
I've been there almost 17 years.
And I've been there since last September. But it's nice that you don't have to, we have people that come and shovel your walks off and clean your car off.
Do they have any openings?
I was on that list 2.5 years before I got it.
When you were girls, did you have any sort of social organizations like Girl Scouts or Girl Guides or anything like that here?
No, we didn't have. No, there were no such things down in the back.
So like nowhere in town or any?
No, I don't, there weren't back then in town either, I don't believe. I don't know of any. No, the only thing we had the PYF at church.
Yeah.
When we were in high school.
Were any kids active with the Grange?
Oh yes, we all joined, oh yeah, we had all joined the Grange.
Yeah.
Oh yes, that was a going thing back then.
Right.
Oh yes.
So what would you do there?
Just meetings and they had dances and things, but
Where did you go ice skating?
ice skating?
Where did you go ice skating? Did you go ice skating?
Oh yeah, we had 2 ponds until the back.
Where?
Well, the one was down at the end of the bar road on the left. There was a great big pond in there. And then down where you make the turn to go down on the head, on the left there was another big one in there, Katie's pond.
Oh, okay.
So we had 2 big skating ponds. And then up above there was a great big pasture that froze all the way down, and we used to skate that too. So we had plenty of skating ponds. Yes. And plenty of place to slide back of Chris Hill. Everybody, even the parents used to go down there. Yes. And the boys, they made a great big ski jump there too, as well. Yes. That's where Mr. White lives now. No, Jerome Crest, he had the horse, but he also had cattle. He had a big pasture down across from the school.
Was he milking or beefers? Were they milkers or beefers?
I couldn't tell you. Okay. All I know is he had cattle.
And he's the one who had the mean horse?
Yes. Johnny the horse, the mean horse. Yes.
Persecuted horse.
Albert Scoville told me once he punched that horse right in the snout. It never bothered him again.
I'll tell you, he was one mean horse. He really was. And he always was out. He always was out running up and down Southwest Road. I mean, down where we were.
I'm picturing all these children outrunning a horse.
You can't. But we could see him coming down over the hill. And he was walking. Then you stopped walking, you went to somebody's doorstep. So out his way, you did, because he would, if you see him, he'd swerve right at you. You know, coming right at you. You would. So, he had all the kids terrified.
Did he ever bite anybody?
Well, we all kept far enough away from him that we were. He would have. He would have if he got the chance.
Does anyone here remember or know whether they used to have horse racing anywhere in Lubec? Because I know there's some other communities that had their own racetrack.
The Giants have one.
Pembroke.
Like
I don't.
Yeah, Pembroke, and then also in Canada, it's very common to have, for small towns to have their own racetrack.
Pembroke did, but Lubeck never did, that I know of. Unless it was up west of it someplace.
When did things stop being so separate? You know, was it the single schools that tied the towns together or the areas together? You know, it's so interesting because I never have thought about it being separate.
Oh.
In my lifetime, which is short, obviously. But I mean, when did it stop being? You all talk of separate. South Lubeck is an area, Lubeck, you know, did that suddenly just become one?
Well, I think probably not so much different anymore, but.
Yeah, well, it's interesting that it was.
But it was because, you know, back then a lot of people didn't have cars either, and you weren't going in town all that much, you were pretty much staying in your own.
The school would have been a part of.
Yeah, of course, we all had our own school bus, grammar school houses.
Our teacher downstairs. And Hazel.
Because I guess it was the same in North Lubeck. They had their own schools and churches. But I guess the high school brought people together, and also the work. I guess people came from everywhere to work at the cannery. So maybe that was another thing that
Of course,
brought
they used to
people
bring
together.
most people in from Eastport and Pembroke and play to work in the side back door then.
So Roger wanted to know how you all got your mail. Did you have to come into town, or was there a postman?
Oh no, we always had a
Did you
mail
have
carrier.
Did you have a post office out there in South
No,
Lubeck?
but they always had mailboxes.
Okay.
We always had a carrier.
How did he get the mail around? How did he get the mail around?
Well, they were outside of the road. They still all have all the mailboxes down there. I mean, they still have a mail
So
carrier.
was it with a car walking?
Oh no, he always. No, Dan Burns was our first mailman for a long time. And then Mary's husband was my mailman when I moved home for quite a long time.
Well, I really want to thank the two of you for sharing your experiences.
You're very welcome.
It's wonderful.
But I don't know whether I want to thank Maureen or not. Maureen Lord was the one that got this, I sent me into this.
She's a lot of talking.
And I have not seen her. We didn't volunteer.
We couldn't figure out. We appreciate it.